blowing up chlorine tanks, stuff like that, which any real terrorists know about. I mean, real terrorists don't sit there and, have 75 IQs and, try to do a truck bomb that the FBI cooked. It's just, if there was real terrorism, folks, we would know about it. And then there you are mentioning things that would kill hundreds of thousands. You don't need a nuke.
Let me give you two bottom lines. First off, there's a book called Dying to Win. The people that we are confronting are not terrorists. They're freedom fighters, and we are invading their homeland. The absolute stupidest thing the U.S. government could do is put ground forces into the Middle East again. We ought to get out of there. We should close down the 44 bases that surround Iran.
But instead, the synthetic ISIS that you pointed out was trained by the CIA. It's been put in to do what? Be then projected on everybody else?
To draw us into war.
Yeah.
It's been put in there to draw us into war so that we can force the American taxpayer to pay for a new military to do a new elective war. This is corruption. This is treason.
Well, I mean, it's so obvious that ISIS works for the West. It's been admitted. That's another thing. Why are the elite getting so reckless? I mean, I've studied different operations and things. They never seem to be this reckless. Or am I wrong?
I think you're right, Alex. I think what you're seeing is the last spasms of an out-of-control system. I have a guest review coming up of a new book, and there have been a number of excellent books by Gurr and others on secrecy and the empire and so forth. What you have here is essentially a syphilitic system firing its last round of machine gun bullets.
It is kind of like a syphilitic fever of mental illness. Let's talk to Russell in Vermont. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex. How you doing, man?
Pretty crazy doing this interview. It makes you think about how just extreme everything is. It really is.
Yeah, no kidding. My question for your guest was, how does all these proxy wars and skirmishes with ISIS conflict with currency values in the world? And when those skirmishes are over and the Iraq comes back on its feet, so to say, how does the value of the dinar affect the value of the dollar? Because
let me go back to Mark Lewis, who wrote a book in the 1980s called Liar's Poker. And that was the first major book by an insider that essentially demonstrated that the entire financial system is rigged. And it's still rigged. I mean, I personally think that not just Greece, but Spain and Portugal and everybody else should tell Goldman Sachs to take a hike. These people, these bankers, the debt that exists today is not actually debt, it's interest. The debt has already been paid off. These people have made their money and more. In fact, they create money that they don't have a right to create. And they charge us interest they don't have a right to collect. This is all fraudulent. What we need to do, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up from Mikkel Bowens and collaborative economy and so forth, Richard Wolff I've mentioned before, we need to put workers back in charge of production. We need to eliminate absentee landlords. We need to eliminate private banking. I love Ellen Brown's book on public banking. That's absolutely huge. And the long and the short of it is we need to restore local currencies, and we need to restore value based on people, land, and labor.
By the way, this just in, CNN, feds prepare criminal charges against Senator Bob Menendez for political corruption, basically pushing deals at his political donors. They'll have to indict all of them, but you see a purging starting to happen here. Why do you think that's? Why are they going after Hillary for these fake emails and obviously breaks the law, but a bunch of them do it? I'm not defending her. But why are we seeing this season now of political indictments, political destructions? Is that trying to throw the public a bone that some reform's happening?
Well, the left and the right are starting to position themselves for 2016. I mean, I personally think that the absolute best thing that could happen for democracy is Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton, because that makes Angus King and his coalition team an absolute shoo-in.
Yeah, I think that's why deeper groups in the deep state now want to get rid of Jeb and Hillary, because they realize that'll really cause an overthrow of their system. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, I am.
That's what I was going to say earlier before we even got on, was they're going after the dirtiest people right now. to try to make the system look clean because they realize...
Correct you, Alex. They're not going after the dirtiest people. If they were going after the dirtiest people, Epstein would have been hung by now.
Oh, well, I mean, I agree with you. I meant like visible...
This is a token, okay? This poor guy...
Hold on, do one more segment since you're saying that. I want to hold you over and have you finish up with this next segment. Robert David Steele, do 5 more minutes with us.
Attention Alex Jones listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to Alex Jones unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-562-5136. Try it now to listen to Alex Jones 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-562-5136. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear Alex Jones untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-562-5136.
Hey, sorry I'm running late. I had to stop and get my vitamins for the month.
I got mine in the mail yesterday from DiscountNutritionShop.com, so I'm here, totally on time.
DiscountNutritionShop.com?
Yep, they're a lifesaver in more ways than one. They have all the nutritional supplements you need, the major brands you know, plus you can save up to 10%. Write down this number, 888-908-4548.
Huh?
888-908-4548. Or just go to DiscountNutritionShop.com.
As the New World Order continues to tighten its grip on every facet of our lives, we're all asking ourselves, how can we maintain our independence? The answer is clear. Get prepared, and you get prepared now. Now the only question left is, where do we begin? My Patriot Supply is here to help. Call 800-247-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. We're even covering the cost of shipping. Are you willing to rely on the government and FEMA in the event of an emergency? Call 800-274-3070 to get started with your 72-hour emergency food supply for only $10. You won't be able to find this deal online, and there is a strict limit of 4 per caller, so don't wait. Call now, 800-274-3070. That's 800-274-3070. Call right now.
Used since before the days of the Roman Empire to support the body's natural systems and enhance overall health. Introducing the new InfoWarsLife.com oil of oregano formulation, a highly advanced nutraceutical form of this key herb that has been traditionally used by civilizations for thousands of years to promote health. We have now procured the most high quality and potent forms of oregano oil on the market, sourced from top leading manufacturers to ensure a concentrated level of bioactive ingredients, extracted directly from the wild herb and sealed in easy-to-use capsules. You will no longer need to endure the burning of liquid oregano on the tongue. Wild crafted from the Mediterranean oregano species that experts agree is one of the most powerful and most challenging to acquire. This winter season, it's more important than ever to secure this true form of oil of oregano. Now available in our limited first run at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flash.
So you've got Senator Menendez, who back in 2010 took some flights with one of his donors to the Dominican Republic and other areas. In a federal investigation 2 years ago, he agreed to pay back $58,000 So I agree with what Mr. Steele was just saying earlier, that they're going after mid-level nobodies for small corruption. I'm saying some of the worst, nastiest people, though, like Hillary Clinton and Menendez, people that are publicly there with bigger scandals like he has of a sexual nature and other things that have come out. So what they're doing is throwing a few bones to the dog, but it shows how they'll never go after folks for really big issues. Finishing up with your statement on that, and then one final phone call.
Well, no, I believe that the governor of Virginia was taken down because he was small enough to crucify.
Sure, and it's always for some little petty thing, some vitamin company or something. It's just, meanwhile, giant, huge levels of corruption are taking place. I mean, is it a war crime for our government to fund the Free Syrian Army, mainly made up of Al-Qaeda, and have them run around and engage in mass murder, and then turn around 3 years later and say we've got to have war with them now?
I think it's treason for the United States government to be engaged in a war that has not been properly sanctioned by Congress.
Sure, and now we see an acceleration of Congress abdicating its authority, handing it over to the executive. Is that because of blackmail or because they just want plausible deniability?
Look, all of the checks and balances have gone. I mean, I've got a video coming out soon, but I brief a book called The Power and the Ambition. It used to be that Congress executed Article 1 of its responsibilities as a balance of power. But when Newt Gingrich destroyed Speaker Wright, he turned the members into a voting bloc that is sold to the highest bidder. So congressmen today don't actually read legislation. They vote the way they're told because their vote has been sold by their party. That's what we have to get rid of.
That's right. That's why they laugh and say, we don't read the bills.
We don't read our emails from you either.
Yeah, we just go play golf and, you know.
We make money. Part of the problem that you learn is that Congress has to spend 75% of its time begging for money.
And then when they get caught actually getting the money to be in Congress, they get sent to jail to scare the rest of the herd to play ball. Let's go to one final caller. I'll take the rest after our guest leaves us. Clarence in Texas, thanks for holding. You're on the air with Robert David Steele.
Thank you. You're talking to a former optimist who basically a pessimist is a optimist with experience. But I'm just very pessimistic about taking our country back. And I view the ones that are truly in control of our system, our electoral system and everything else, as the crude analogy of the alien facehugger on the human host. Because when you go to try to take that thing off, it's going to kill you. And until it's done its dirty work. And so my thought is to you, what is your thought on if they see that we're starting to take back and truly have a constitutional republic where actually our vote means something, don't you think that they're going to basically say, okay, we've lost control of America, so we're going to release the whatever?
Well, you know, the facehugger wants to lay more bushes and Clintons in our stomach and then scurry off itself and die. I think if it sees enough people waking up, it may actually go scurry and hide before it lays its eggs. But you've got a good point. That's a great question to end with Mr. Steele.
Look, the bottom line is these people are not completely stupid. And I think it's really, really critical to make the observation that we're offering them an exit strategy. We're offering them a nonviolent truth and reconciliation exit strategy. And if they don't want that, if they want to have, this is not about burning down their mansions. This is about shooting their Lear jets out of the sky. Okay? I don't think they understand how many pissed off veterans are capable of shooting down a Lear jet today. So they have a choice. They can get out of the way and accept an exit strategy that is nonviolent, that does not go after their existing wealth, or not.
Well, it's certainly going down that road. What do you make in 60 seconds of the Russia-Ukraine situation? Who's really behind it? Where's it going?
I think the United States government is behind it because we actually fostered a revolt there. We've substituted a corrupt fascist government for a corrupt communist government. We broke our word to Russia in expanding NATO into Eastern Europe. The bottom line is the United States, as Martin Luther King said long ago, is the single most destabilizing toxic force on the planet.
Wow, powerful interview. Mr. Steele, thank you so much for your time today. It was very enlightening.
God God bless America.
Look forward to having you back on as election heats up. There he goes, folks. We're going to come back and talk to Matthew and Mike and Cato and Ray and Andrew and everybody else. I'm going to get through those calls quickly, and then a bunch of news we haven't hit yet, including CPS kids ending up in pedophile rings.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio